this article, the authors use bortezomib, a common anti-cancer agent used in various hematologic malignancies, as a test case to explore some nuances in the generic and biosimilar approval pathway that can prevent their wide-scale adoption. Hello, my name is Caleb Shekel, and I will be discussing our publication in the upcoming edition of the Mayo Clinic Proceedings titled Failure to Launch: Why Some Generics Don't Take. As I'm sure many of us are aware, pharmaceutical spending accounts for a rising share of overall health spending in the country. To reward innovation, our legal system allows drug manufacturers a temporary monopoly on drug manufacturing of novel products. And this allows the drug maker to recoup their investment costs as well as provide profits for future endeavors. When the patent on a drug expires, this allows the generic drug makers to also produce the product, and competition results in an overall drop in price. But sometimes a product with several generic alternatives doesn't get adopted into wider use. Velcade, which is the brand name of the drug bortezomib, is one such case. So let's provide a little bit more detail. And some of this is going to sound like a word and number salad, but it'll make sense very soon. In the US, there are 3 approval pathways for new drug applications and abbreviated new drug applications. They have names like 505B1, 505J, and 505B2, and these refer to the parts of the Section 505 of Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, which covers the approval of innovator drugs, generic drugs, and also drugs that share key similarities with approved drugs, but differ in potentially other crucial ways. In this publication, we focus our attention on the 505B2 pathway, which is a streamlined process where the manufacturer relies upon investigations or clinical studies conducted by someone else. This pathway allows manufacturers to apply for approval without repeating all of the drug development work done by the innovator agent, and also meant to enable a quicker time to market. It may be advantageous for a manufacturer to seek an approval via this 505B2 route for several reasons. The research and development costs behind these agents are considerably lower. They've already been done. There's a large sphere of public longitudinal safety data to draw upon, and prescribers are already familiar with the drug. Some other interesting components is that the length of market exclusivity also strongly favors the 505B2 generic pathway. If we think of a traditional generic application called an ANDA, the first generic maker in that space gets market exclusivity for 6 months. However, those who go through the 505B2 pathway may get market exclusivity for their generic up to even 7 years. In 2018 and again in 2019, generic forms of bortezomib were approved by the FDA via this 505B2 pathway. Because these bortezomib alternatives were approved because of this pathway, they're not considered classic generics, and some differences exist in the FDA label, such as approved indication, whether something might be in first line or second line. There are some differences in the approved routes of administration, and also some small differences in product formulation and the inactive ingredients. We go on to highlight how the 505B2 pathway approved agents have resulted in reimbursement issues, some additional costs to the healthcare system by not adopting their wider use, some prescriber concerns about the method of administration and maybe some potential side effects. We also show some new research in that space and some tactics that may allay some of those fears. And lastly, we focus on how the recent passage of the Inflation Reduction Act actually impacts Velcade in particular. Ultimately, when we fail to adopt more affordable agents in the clinical practice, everyone loses. We want to shine a light on potential areas for reform within the generic market, and hopefully, with a combination of vigilance, some advocacy, and a little creativity on the part of clinicians, we can all do our best to ensure affordable and sustainable access to effective therapies. I hope you enjoy.
We hope you found this presentation from the content of our website valuable. Our journal's mission is to promote the best interests of patients by advancing the knowledge and professionalism of the physician community. If you are interested in more information about us, our homepage is www.mayoclinicproceedings.org. There you'll find access to information for our social media content, such as additional videos on our YouTube channel or journal updates on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter. More information about healthcare at Mayo Clinic is available at www.mayoclinic.org. This video content is copyrighted by Mayo Foundation for Medical Education and Research.